Well, hello there, and thank you for joining me tonight for Tales from the Mer World. My name is Ameera Beth. I am a transpersonal healer in Southwest Washington State. I am also an incarnated mer being, and my soul, my spirit lineage is Atlantean. So through my healing work, through my healing practice, I do lots of wonderful things. Something called the Sacred Touch of Atlantis, which is my remembrance of how I healed under the healing temples in Atlantis. And I'm also a past life regressionist. I do something wonderful called soul progression, which is taking you into a healing with your guides and angels. I give intuitive readings, and I also take folks on spiritual retreats to the island of Kauai. And speaking of the island of Kauai, I am very excited about my special guest tonight. Her name is Jeanne Russell, and she is the owner of Dolphin Touch Wellness Center in Kauai, Hawaii. She's the creator of Dolphin Energetics. She's a Reiki master, a teacher, and a coach, and she's my very good friend and retreat partner. So we're going to have a really wonderful time tonight talking with Jeanne. You can find her information at dolphintouch.org. We're going to talk tonight about the dolphins and the whales. Jeanne is a dolphin intuitive. She speaks to and understands the language of the dolphins and the whales, and she's got some really beautiful information to share with us about the messages that they're bringing through to humanity right now. She's going to talk to us a little bit more about the book she is writing, talk about this wonderful healing modality she created called Dolphin Energetics. That's kind of similar to craniosacral that happens in the water, and I'll let Jeanne talk a little bit more about that, and then also about her wellness center. Jeanne has a fantastic facility in Kapa'a, Kauai, and I just want to give you a little bit of background of how Jeanne and I came to know one another. It was really quite a happy cosmic accident, nothing but divine intervention. When I first got the call from Spirit to retreats on the island of Kauai, I didn't know anybody there. It was the fall of 2013, and I just felt this strong pull to go to this island that I had never been to, that I knew nobody on, and bring groups of people there for healing. And I couldn't really explain why. I had this, just this calling inside of me that wouldn't let go. So I just started reaching out to anybody I knew who had been to Kauai or might know someone there. And through a friend of a friend, I was led to Jeanne. And when I contacted her and let her know my intentions in the fall of 2013, let her know that I wanted to come in January of 2014, she just immediately embraced me with the beautiful aloha spirit that she carries in her soul, invited me to stay at her wellness center. She's got a beautiful little apartment on top of the wellness center, and offered to help me put my very first retreat together. So I can't even tell you what a great relief that was to finally have somebody on Kauai who was willing to step up, not knowing me at all, and kind of teach me the ropes, I guess you should say, and help me to put this amazing event together that, the dolphins and the whales and my mer family just keep telling me that I could create. So I went to the island of Kauai in January of 2014, stepped off the plane, immediately fell in love with Kauai. I had been to all the other islands, liked them very much, but there was something different about Kauai. There is something so special and unique about that island that when you step foot on her, on Mama Kauai, you know that you are in a different world. You know that you are in paradise, the promised land, as I like to call it. And the vibration within you immediately starts to shift because Kauai will help you step into a space of joy and love and healing in your heart just by breathing the air. And it's a feast for the eyes everywhere you go, Kauai. The lush greenery, the mountains, the flowers, the beaches everywhere. I immediately knew that Kauai was my second home. I knew that Kauai would eventually become my home, and I'd only been there, an hour. When I met Jeanne, she just fully embraced me, took me right up to the wellness center, got me settled, and the next day we came together and started planning my first retreat, which she took part in and helped me with and assisted the group of women that I brought with me, which we later called the Daughters of Mu. So having said that, I'm going to bring Jeanne on to talk to all of us and to talk to us a little bit deeper about the Wellness Center and why she loves Kauai so much, and of course the beautiful messages from the dolphins and whales and how we need them so very much right now, and what they are bringing forth into humanity is just something that, if you've ever swam with them, or if you're attracted to dolphins and to whales and to cetaceans, like, you really know how special they are. Not only how special they are, but really how vital that they are for the planet. And so having said that, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Jeanne's microphone. She's live on the air now, and call her right up. Jeanne, are you there?
I am here. Aloha.
Aloha. It's so good to hear your voice.
Good to hear your voice too, Ameera. Seems like, it's like you're here all the time. Your energy is always here. We're talking, we're connecting somehow. The people you brought, you're just all around me all the time. It's so awesome.
Well, I am so pleased to hear that.
You're so
because you know that, Kauai holds my heart, and not only is that island so special to me, but you are very special to me as well. And it's just really a privilege to have you on the show and to allow you to speak out into the world all the amazing stuff you do to make this, world a better place by having people come through you in this magical place known as Kauai. So I'm just going to let you give your own introduction and talk a little bit about your healing work and the Wellness Center, and anything you want to let us know. Go for it.
Oh, well, I have to say first, thank you, Ameera. You have been such an amazing person to get to know and meet and understand. And just the first time I even worked on you, and we did the dolphin energetics in the ocean, and most people after the session are like wiped out. They're laying on the beach. They're like integrating. And you got out of your session, jumped into the water, swam around like a mermaid. I'm like, okay, she's home. She's like so in her element. It was so perfect. I thought, wow, that said a lot to me about you and who you are and your personality. And you are like that. You just jump in. You go for it. You don't hold back. You don't mellow out. You just and you take your people with you, and the amazing people that get to share your journey with you get to experience your energy, your vitality, and your love of life, and it's just contagious. It's awesome because then they get to have a new zest and zeal and enjoyment and playfulness about them that they might have held back before. So I just love that about you, Ameera.
Thank you. And that's what life is all about, is joy. And I would say you and I make a very good team.
Absolutely.
In cultivating that. and people who come through us for these retreats. And, that dolphin energetics that Jeanne is referring to, I'm going to let her talk all about that. But I'm just going to preface it by saying that was one of the most profound and as far as a healing that connected me to my true essence and connected me to the water, I've never experienced anything quite like it, quite like the experience that flowed through my body as I floated atop the water with Jeanne as she worked on me. So explain to our listeners what that's all about.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, I happened to be gifted to know some pretty amazing people, and they taught me a few things, shared some of their wonderful crystals of wisdom with me, And one was a Reiki master named Kathy Russell. It was no relation, but happened to have the same last name, that lives also on Kauai. And she was an amazing healer, and she's the one that first introduced me to Reiki and opened up so much more beyond that. And I loved it because she called it intuitive Reiki, because it took Reiki to a whole new level. And it's not just learning the energy of Reiki, it's learning to tap into your own intuition and then incorporate that into your sessions. So the sessions we did was so much beyond just a regular Reiki session. It was a combination of all of our gifts that we brought to the space. And so she opened me up right away with that. And then I got to know Rebecca Goff, who lives on Maui, and she taught me aqua cranial sacral. And that also is a healing modality in the water. And I combined the two and just morphed it into my own creation, which was Dolphin Energetics. And what that is, and it's so different for each person, but what it is kind of allowing you go into that space of release, relaxation, in the comfort of Mama Kauai, in the healing waters of Kauai. If anyone's been here and been in the ocean, they know that the water, just being in the water, is so healing. And then while you're floating and totally supported while you're floating in the water, I'm working on you to release energetic blocks, physical blocks, emotional, and whatever you're kind of needing in that moment. So sometimes it's a physical thing, so we're working to release joints, tension, neck, back, and open up that space. Some people have trouble with insomnia, physical illness, various diseases, different things that they have, and we found a lot of relief after doing that. And then some people are working on emotional stuff and, self-worth issues, not wanting to step in their power, having that fear of being in the water, the fear of the water. There's so many people that actually have a fear of water, and so we work them through that, and with gentleness and grace and ease. It's just a very nurturing experience, that whatever fear that you're kind of wanting to let go of, that you're aware of that you have, that we just bring it to the table and allow it to be released. And it's wonderful because the ocean just clears away and releases and washes it clean. And then on
that's what I was working on is releasing fear. I was holding a lot of fear and apprehension in my body for trying to get this retreat together and what I was going to call it, what I was going to do. And, at the end of that 20 or 25 minutes, and I remember floating on the water with you, and that fear, literally leaving my body. I could feel the physical releasing of that fear into the water. My body was kind of doing some, just some movements, and I remember having a lot of emotion come up and a lot of, you just kept reassuring me, just let it go. It's fine. Let it go. You're releasing. And I trusted you. I trusted the process. And literally the ocean took that fear from me.
Yeah, you were really amazing because you released it so quickly, which was awesome. You were ready to release it anyway. You were just on the verge to do that little push, and you were in your element, And once you surrendered, wow, everything just opened up for you, and just click, 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 things started falling into place, and you had the name of it, and you knew what you wanted to do, and you had clarity, and that was perfect. That was so awesome. You were ready for that, and that's great, and it was perfect, and so just like you and everybody else, it's going to be different, what you're wanting to release and what level you're at ready to really let that release. And the more you surrendered to the process, the more you can release. and luckily, we had a relation, we had established a relation. You felt good enough that you trusted me, and that also helped to just move that blockage through, so that it was no longer a fear. And look at you now. You've already done 2 beautiful, amazing retreats. You're already planning your third. You already got your third in place, and you're just rocking it, girl. So that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I love Kauai. That's no secret. And I want to make sure that everybody knows, if you would like to call in, Jeannie and I would love to have some questions. The number is 713-955-0415. And when you go into the queue, if you'd like to ask a question, you want to hit the number 1 button. That'll tell me that you're not only in the queue, but you'd like to ask a question. So just keep that in mind. I see we've got a couple of people listening in live. And so if you want to ask us something, again, that number is 713-955-0415. And we'd love to put you on the show and just let you, ask away anything that you're curious about tonight. Jeannie, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about your wellness center, about Dolphin Touch Wellness, about why you decided to open up a wellness center, and a little bit about your background story of what brought you to Kauai.
Oh, wow, that's a lot right there. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, well, definitely the Dolphins brought me to Kauai. I knew when I finished school and I got my master's actually in statistics, and I did research at the New York Aquarium, and I published a paper in zoo biology on the nursing behavior of dolphins and whales. And so I knew that I wanted to be by the dolphins and the whales. So I was thinking California, Florida is where we were going to move to. But at the last minute, we went on our honeymoon to Hawaii, and my husband and I both, when we got out here, said, this is it. This is where we want to live. And it took us 4 years. It was a total process. And all my friends, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and so all my friends are like, are you really moving to Hawaii? And so they said I inspired them, because I actually traveled halfway across the country. This is about as far away from New York you can get and still be in the United States. So my parents weren't thrilled about it, but we were very happy to come out here. We had my husband had to finish his residency, so he came when our kids were 3 and a year and a half, and just never went back. We've been here 19 years, and if you know Kauai, if you are not meant to be here, it will chew you up and spit you out. There's no question about it. But apparently we must have been welcomed or accepted or, needed in the community. My husband's an oral surgeon, and at the time I was a math teacher at a local high school, private high school here called Island School. And so we, made a life for ourselves here. The way I got into this work is my husband actually had a nerve injury in his arms and legs, and he was finding it really difficult and to function, and he was in a lot of pain. So he found relief from my touch. I had read the book Barbara Brennan, Hands of Light, and I would just lay my hands on him, and he would start to feel better. And then from there, I decided to learn how to do it properly, and I learned Reiki from that woman, Jeanne Russell. And always from the beginning, I was feeling connected to the dolphins, but I had never worked with them in the healing arts. And it wasn't until my husband was lying on a massage table and I was doing Reiki on him, and all of a sudden the dolphins showed up, like everywhere in the room, etheric dolphins. They were in the windows, they were swimming in and out of the room, around the table, the Reiki table, and jumping up and down, and just like, and my heart opened so much, and tears were just rolling down my face, and I was, just in awe by their energy and their beauty, and it was literally like I could see their eyes, their face, everything. And they were the Hawaiian spinner dolphins, which, if you know them, they're so playful. They're a little smaller than the bottlenose, so they're really cute. And it was the most incredible session I had ever had. Now, my husband was face down, didn't know anything of what I was doing, didn't even know I was crying. And when I was done, he got off the table and said, "What did you do?" It was amazing. I have no pain. And I said, I didn't do anything. It was the dolphins. They just showed up and worked through me, through my hands, opened my heart. And so ever since that moment, invited them to continue working with me in that way. And they show up every time. And now we play with the monk seals and the turtles and the whales, and all of them have different energies. The mermaids, all the realms, they have different energy and different ways of showing up and healing. But that was the first, and that was pretty powerful. And
yeah,
it was life-changing for all of us. And so I started doing my work, but I was working out of my house, and it was, if you guys know, when you work out of your house, the energies get mixed, and I have kids, and I just didn't want that. So I looked for another place outside of my home to do this stuff, and I started doing it in my husband's office. I started working on the patients. He's an oral surgeon, so while the patient was lying in their chair, I would be doing energy or Reiki work on them to help them relax, because if anyone had their mouth worked on or surgery, it's a little tense. So I would relax the patient, get them feeling good, and he would work on them. And my husband's also a Reiki master, so we both were working, and patients absolutely loved it. And then my kids got older, they started moving out of the house, and I was like, I'm going to open up my own center. I want to finally this is my time. So this is my playhouse. And so that's where Dolphin Touch evolved. It's kind of a shorter story, actually. But yeah.
That's okay. So talk to us a little bit deeper about your connection to the dolphins. And I know you're writing a book. And what the kinds of messages the dolphins and the whales want us to know as, humanity evolves, and what kind of a role you see them playing alongside of us?
Yeah, it's been really interesting as I look back on my life, the whole dynamic of how the dolphins have played in my life. When I was younger, my heart opened because I wanted to save the dolphins. There's a lot of publicity about dolphins getting caught in tuna nets and the injustice of that, and I was very much an advocate of saving the dolphins, and was going to protest that, which I still don't believe in. But once I tuned in, the energy was, we're here to save you, dear ones. We don't need to be saved. And it was a very humbling experience when I got that message, because I was like, what? I thought I was saving you, and I'm going to save the dolphins. And they're like, no, we're here on this planet to help you raise your vibration, to come up to our vibration of love and light. And that was a huge awakening, because it was a total different paradigm shift of what I had thought dolphins were here, and, the role I was going to play with them. And so then it was like, oh, you mean I have more to learn from you? And so then I started opening up to listening to the messages that they started sharing. And all of them are so moving, so powerful. Just one example is the breath. How every breath a dolphin takes is a conscious breath. They have to break the surface of the water to come up to breathe. And if we just take a few minutes to consciously focus on our breath, we can get into that state of oneness. And that's where meditation, yoga, all of that is so important, because it brings us back to our breath. And the dolphins understood that, and they knew that. And so sharing that was such a powerful message, that no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, no matter how anxious we are or upset or crazy or out of whack we are, we can just focus on our breath and get back connected.
Yeah.
Well, I know you
Yes.
know a lot about breath work as well.
Yeah, breathing. People underestimate or undervalue like the importance of really taking nice deep belly breaths, instead of just the shallow breathing that we kind of fall into, to really take prana, to take oxygen into your lungs, has many, many benefits. Not only does it oxygenate our brains and our bloodstream, but it's a huge stress and anxiety releaser. Like when we start to take conscious breaths, like the dolphins, and maybe take 8 or 10 of them and just really fill our lungs and breathe, it's a vibration and an energy shifter.
Yeah. And something else too that I realized kind of recently with the breath is that the more you gain control of your breath, the more you gain control of your life.
Right.
And it's kind of a weird concept. I mean, you don't think about it, but so many people are just breathing. If you just take control of your breath, 4 counts in, hold for 4 counts, and exhale for 4 counts. And it's like you are taking back control not only of your physical body, but also of every aspect of your life. You gain that control back that you might have just subconsciously didn't even know you didn't have control of. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it will also, ground you back into your body and help you bring presence back to your body. So, if you're stressed or anxious, a really good way to remedy that quickly is just some nice, long, deep belly breaths, and that will bring the calm and presence to your nervous system and immediately allow you, like you said, to regain your personal power and make decisions and see life with much more clarity. So I know that you are in the midst of writing a book. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it has many facets. There's so many things I want to share, and maybe multiple books, but one is definitely how to do this dolphin energetics and teaching that to others, because this is something that's meant to be shared, and it's something that's meant to be out there and kind of a step-by-step guide, and that will in turn go with the class that I am teaching on how people can do the dolphin energetics. We do it in the ocean, as we already mentioned.
When I move to Kauai, I'm going to take your class. I'm going to take your training. Very excited.
Yeah, it would be awesome. It'd be great to have you. The other aspect of that is we have the water massage table, so you're actually floating on water while you're getting your treatment, and so you're on a massage table, but you're actually floating on water. So you're not in the water, but you're floating on the water, and that helps to release more of the emotional trauma that we've all seem to have taken somewhere along the line, whether it's this lifetime or previous. And you're really good at the previous ones, Ameera, so I send all my people to you for about that, clearing that. But it's also about what trauma is stuck in your body and helping it to be released in a nice, safe environment. And so that's what we do. So that's one part of the book. And then also the messages of the dolphins and the whales are in the vibration of love and light. So they've been holding this vibration on the planet for a long time. If you look back in time, the dolphins have always been here with us, and they've worked with us in various ways, and we weren't really even as humans conscious of that. Like years ago, we would actually use the whale meat and the oil from the whales and different things like that. And even though that was not like now, we look down upon that. We wouldn't want to do that now, but for that time, the oils and the meat from the whales helped to integrate the whale DNA into our DNA by ingesting that. We were merging with that energy, and that helped to raise our vibration on the planet. So does that make sense? So by actually consuming them at that time, and years ago, it was an integration of the dolphins and whales coming into us to help, and with the oils or how we use them and being around them to help upgrade us, so to speak, to the next level on our spiritual path.
Right.
Did you? Yeah, pretty amazing. So that was then. Then we got into having them in aquariums, and then we were fascinated. You know, you go to an aquarium, and it's fascinating to see the dolphins jump and spin and do all their performances. And so people were attracted to that, to see them perform. And again, that was an activation. So anybody, you would go to a dolphin show, but it was, to me, you know, more than just a dolphin show. It was their energy and, you know, activating the room, just like when you go to a meditation or even go to a healing session, you know, the whole room gets activated. That's what they were doing. From my perspective on that, when people would go to see the dolphin shows or the whale shows. But, you know, as we evolve, we realize, well, we really don't want to keep these dolphins in captivity. You know, we don't need to make them jump out of hoops to entertain us, you know. So hopefully more and more we'll get away from that, where we don't need to have them in captivity. We don't need to have them in that environment, and we could just interact with them in their natural environment, which is in the ocean. And then, yeah, so there's a lot of dolphin swims and things that are happening. And now the next level for me is connecting people just to the energy. So you can be in Phoenix, Arizona, and connect with the energy of the dolphin. You don't even need to be in the ocean to connect with their vibration. So they're here to basically help us level up, to assist with the ascension process, to assist with New Earth. And they've always been working with us. I mean, this goes back to Atlantean time, Lemurian time. They have been our partners, assistants, co-workers. You know, they've always been collaborating with us in a very intimate way, and their roles have changed over time, but they just love humans. They love, you know, they're just here to be in service, really, to really be in service, and it's such an honor and a privilege that they have this. I mean, I'm just getting emotional just thinking about it as we tap into the love that they have for mankind is like overwhelming, just totally overwhelming.
Yeah, it's unconditional, and they really are in service to humanity and to this planet. They really, really exist for humans.
Yes. Yes. And you know, even to the point where they would be kept in captivity, they would be eaten, you know, they give their body to help us. You see when you see a mass beaching of whales or dolphins, what they're doing is they're a couple of things. One is they're activating that area. They're awakening the compassion, because we see these animals on the beach, and you know we're saddened by their death, but you know they're doing whatever it takes to help us become more conscious, like to wake up. And you know, when they show up like that in an area, it's like, okay, that area needs a little more attention. We're going to do this to activate that area. And so they are totally in service. They've been with us in many, many, many lifetimes, many, many incarnations. This carnation, which I feel is a little different than in the past, is now they're ready to hand us the baton and to say, okay, it's your turn to hold this vibration of love and light on the planet. And I'm honored to be one of their messengers, as you are, and as many people that are really feeling, for no reason whatsoever, connected to the dolphins. All of a sudden they're like, I'm just drawn to them. I don't know what it is. They dream about them. They see them. They have this connection. That's because they're reaching out to all of us and to say, here, now step up to the plate. Come. We've been holding this vibration of love and light. Now it's your turn. Start going into your destiny and holding that vibration of love and light on the planet, and open up to that you're here, what you're here to do. We've been
find your inner dolphin.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the other night when you had your retreat, we did the meditation, the dolphin meditation, with the crystal bowls and the tuning forks and the beautiful harp by Jeannie and Isha with her sound healing. And at the end, there was, at the end of the meditation, there's a part where the dolphin swims up into your heart chakra. And can you explain your experience in that, Ameera? You had a little experience from that.
Talking about is we did this amazing meditation, and Jeannie spoke the meditation, and then a couple of her very dear friends, who are also my friends, did some toning and chanting and some sound healing along with it. And at the end of the meditation, and we're all lying there on blankets on the floor, and there's all this sound and vibration, and Isha's making these beautiful cetacean noises, and it just becomes very etheric, very ethereal, and you're visualizing this dolphin that is with you, and at the very end, Jeannie makes the suggestion or the prompt that, your dolphin will jump into your heart and join you in your heart chakra, and boy, did I feel that dolphin just leap right in. And it was just, that was like my magic moment of that meditation, because for a while you're so listening to everything that's going on around you, and your words are just kind of like wafting and weaving through, and then suddenly you have this dolphin that's right before you, and that just jumps into your energy field and jumps into your heart, and I felt my heart chakra just pop right open. It was really nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, they're all so special, and meditation is one of the best ways to connect with them in that place of stillness and intensity. And they're just really, really amazing. And the same with the whales. There's this story I was sharing about the whales and what they're doing for the planet as well. They're also in service and love us to pieces. And they're here, but they're activating the earth in very powerful ways, and they're holding the grid for the activation and working on Mother Earth. And I don't know if you guys know the story of the Hawaiian Islands and how they were formed, but there was a break in the crust, and lava started flowing, and through that lava flowing, Kauai, is the oldest of the islands, was formed, and then over millions of thousands of years, I don't know how many, the island moved over, and then the next island formed, which is Oahu and Maui, and now the Big Island, where the volcano is still erupting, is forming still. And then beyond the Big Island, because now that's moved over, there's a new island that's being formed, and they have a name for it. It's some Hawaiian name I'm not even trying to pronounce. So it's forming, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. So that new island is forming beyond the Big Island. And so there was a geologist, I'll let that pass. There was a geologist, and he was recording the underwater eruptions of the new island. And while he was recording these under-island eruptions, he's listening to thousands and thousands of minutes of tape, he hears these sounds, these humpback whale sounds. So in the middle of this eruption, you hear this eruption, these underwater, these explosions, and then you hear, and you hear all these humpback whale sounds, and it's eerie because it totally doesn't jive, right? And you're listening to this eruption, then you hear this beautiful humpback whale sound. And if you know, but when you think about it, it makes total sense, because if you know how the humpback whales sing, it's only the males that sing, and when they sing, their melon head is facing down, so their tail is actually up and their head is down, so they're actually facing the earth while they're singing. Their head is down while they're singing, and so they were singing the birth of this new island, and this guy actually captured it on this recording. So this geologist, not knowing what to do, just said, well, I could sell these, so he mass-produced and sold them. You can't even get it now, but I have a copy. I actually bought one because I was like, wow, I definitely want that. It's really powerful. We've done like a couple of meditations with it, but it's a really powerful meditation when you're listening to this and doing a meditation. I can't play it during a session; it's like too much, but it's pretty powerful, and it's also just shows how the whales are in service in a different capacity, but also here to assist with the ascension process, with what's going on the island, with what's going on in the world, the new Earth, and creating and rebirthing this whole world. So, what's your connection to the whales, Ameera? What is your take on that?
They're so amazing, and because I carry, my energy line is with the mer people because I'm an incarnated mer being. I remember being able to swim with the dolphins and the whales, with all the sea creatures. And I remember the whales, the grandfather whales would teach me. They would transmit their messages and their love to me while I was in the ocean. And, I would learn from them. They would teach me, they would tell me stories of where they came from. They would tell me stories of the galaxies that they were sent down from, and the wisdom and the knowledge of all the extraterrestrial energy that they carry, and that why they came to Earth. And they would sing this song about humanity, and they would sing a song about how they loved the human beings, the humans so much that they had to come and help us, and that they knew that their fate wouldn't always be pleasant, it wouldn't always be good, but that they also knew that they were eternal beings, and they knew the part that they were playing in the awakening and the evolution of humanity, that their sacrifice was just one of complete unconditional love. Their songs do hold the grids of the earth together. The whales and the dolphins are more important to just to the energy of the ocean than most people even realize. And the level of love and service that they are in to be with us is just profound. And I think you're right. There was a time where we needed to take them into our bodies, where we needed to actually embody them physically. But now that time has come to pass, and they're asking us to be in our own, sovereignty and joy, and be in our own dolphin joy and our own whale wisdom, to really own and embody that, because we are one with all creatures of the earth. I personally believe we evolved from ocean creatures. I don't believe in the whole monkey evolution. I believe that humans came out of the water, and that was our evolution. We have more in common with water creatures, with the way our hair grows and the flaps on our nose, and some of the things that we do, are coming up to having to consciously take a breath and swim back down. I believe that we are a part of them, and that they're helping us to remember that. And so all the work that, you are doing to remind people of joy, and to remind people, and there's so many of you folks are incarnated dolphins. I look at people and I see the dolphin, I see the dolphin imagery, or I see that imprint with them, and I know who they are. And those beings, if you feel really connected to the dolphins, you're probably a really happy, joyful, laughy, really, that kind of a personality. And if you feel really extra connected to any of the ocean creatures, well, chances are you carry that imprint as part of your soul lineage. And that's an important thing for you to acknowledge and own about yourself, that you carry that, that energy of joy and playfulness, and how special that gift is to the world. And I encourage everybody to go swim with dolphins at least once in your life. And I don't mean in the pools at the park, because that's not good for them. Go to the Big Island and do a dolphin swim. I went on a seminar for 5 days and swam with them on the Big Island, and after that came home with my inspiration from Spirit to do my Kauai retreats. But yeah, it's an event that even just to be on the water with them, Jeannie, when we go out on the catamaran rides and we're surrounded by dolphins, oh my gosh, that just never ever gets old.
No. Dolphins
It's
are
just a
here.
thrill every time.
Yeah, and they always show up. It's so nice. Even when they said, they don't usually have dolphins at this time. Well, there they are.
There they are.
And you can call them in. And no matter where you are, I like to say, too, you can call the dolphins to you through your dream time, through your meditation. Just connect with their energy. And it's all about joy and play. I'm an incarnated dolphin. You're the incarnated mermaid, so it's so funny that when I walk in a room, I kind of look at it like, okay, there's a dolphin, there's a and there's an Arcturian, we're starting to recognize who we are and where we come from more and more. Oh, there's a Syrian, yeah. So it's really kind of fun and playful and joyful to do that. But the energy, see. To me, the biggest message of the dolphins is to have more play in your life. And that's become the coaching part of what I do, is how to have more play and how to connect with more play and to live your dream and not to hold back and to let your dreams and your play be your reality, not something that you do once in a while or on the side or on the weekends, but to live it in your life, to bring that joy and play and purpose into every day of your life. And it's not joyful and playful, don't do it, kind of thing. And letting that be your guide on how to move forward in your life and how to make choices and, what decisions to make. And you're kind of waffling back and forth. And, a lot of people want to go for, is this going to make me more money, or is this going to be more secure? Is this going to be this? It's going to be that. It's like, if it makes you feel good, if it brings joy, then that's where you're meant to be, and the money will come, and everything else will come. The relationships will come. Everything will fall into place. The health will come. The more we are living our joy.
That is exactly true, and you get to live the dream and live your joy every single day on the island of Kauai. You get to live in your truth and your bliss
I love what I do. I love what I get to do. You've seen me here. You've seen this here. I get to meet amazing, wonderful people like you and Moss, and there's healers. So many more people are coming to Kauai. They're awakening to the energy here, and coming out here and doing a personal healing retreat is so powerful. Ameera, retreats are wonderful. They really transform people, and just when you're needing that kick in the pants and a transformation and a shift in your life, that's the time to come to Kauai, because you can get a whole new perspective on why you're here, what you're here to do, and what's the next step. Otherwise, when you're just in that rat race and you're just doing your 9 to 5 and you're going and going, it's like it doesn't have meaning, and that's not why we're here. There's a higher purpose.
Yeah, and on that note, my next retreat on Kauai starts in about a month, December 4th through 9th. I'll be returning to Kauai. Just bringing a small group with me this time. I've decided I'd like to do something very intimate and personal. I've still got an opening or two available for that. So if you want to check that out, my website is merjourneys.com, MERJOURNES, merjourneys.com, and you can reach out to me personally on Facebook under Ameera Beth Transpersonal Healer, or my contact information is on there. When I come to Kauai, it's a 6-day retreat. We start out with a luau at Jeanne's Wellness Center. I throw a nice meal and do a cacao ceremony, and then we usually invite some kind of like local entertainment. The last month, I guess, or September, we had some fire dancers come join us. Who knows what we'll do this time, but we'll think of something, some kind of local fun thing to come and show us a little bit of what, the traditional Hawaiian entertainment or dancing is all about. And then I take you to many sacred and beautiful places on the island for ceremony and ritual help people step into their purpose and power and release the fear fairies and really get ready to quantum leap into whatever life is calling them out to do. For everybody, it's a little bit different, but for all of us, it's similar. We just want to live our very best, most authentic, joy-filled life. Jeannie and I do a couple events together. We've got some very special and unique things we're going to do together that I can only do with a small group on the island. And, of course, there will be an opportunity for some dolphin energetics. So if you would like to reach out to me and explore coming to Kauai, December 4th to the 9th, then please seek me out. And you can find my information at ameerabeth.com. That's my website. Jeannie, before we close, is there anything else you would like to share with us about yourself or your wellness center? Anything, other messages or contact information you want to provide?
Yeah, definitely. We have a beautiful center on Kauai. We actually have the second floor open for short-term rentals. So if you're looking for a place to stay, it's a great place. You can just feel the healing energy being on the land. So just by staying upstairs in the property helps. And then we have some amazing practitioners. Let
me just say along with that, her apartment above the Wellness Center, it's right in town. You can walk everywhere. You just roll out of bed and the chickens are there, and it's a lovely, lovely apartment, really spacious. So if you're looking for, a place to stay that is really pretty economical and really available to the town of Kapaa, stay at Dolphin Touch Wellness Center. Okay, go ahead. What else do you got?
Well, I was just going to say it's a block away from the beach, so and we have that beautiful 3.5 mile bike path. It's just I just love this little area. And then we have some really amazing practitioners, and so basically if you're coming out, the best thing would be to sit down with me and kind of describe what type of experience you're wanting to have, whether it's the dolphin energetics or you want to incorporate some massage or acupuncture with that, or some cranial sacral work, or this island is full of healers. Mm-hmm. So you can custom design your retreat based on what you're wanting to experience while you're out here. There's some beautiful places, and I think what's really amazing is that as many times as Ameera has been here, I'm still able to wow her with a new thing, just about because I'm still discovering new fun places to go, fun things to do. I think Queen's Bed might have been the newest one that you might have been exposed to. And, I'm still even discovering fun new places to go out of the way, and kind of not in guidebook kind of places, at secret waterfalls, kayaking, Hindu temples, beautiful sacred lands, learning the Hawaiian tradition, the heiaus, and the legends and the stories of the Hawaiian people, and just connecting with the land, going on hikes, getting a 360-degree view of the island, and when you get that high up, you get the clarity. The air is so clear and fresh. It's just beautiful. So, if you're feeling guided, we can do a custom retreat. We can do a group retreat if you want to come out here and do incorporate your own retreat at some point, and you want to bring a group and then also have some fun activities. We can totally assist with that. We work a lot with the Courtyard Marriott, which Ameera knows very well, and they're wonderful, wonderful, easy to work with people over there. Just love Barbara Gusman and all the people over there. And just when you're ready for a shift, that we're here. If you cannot leave and come to Kauai, we can come to you via phone or Skype, and we can do some healing work via sessions where we work long distance. I do healing work. I can do the dolphin energetics through the phone, through the Skype, and just as powerful and just as transformational. And then stay tuned, because the dolphin energetics, I will be finishing up that. I have 2 people ready to sign up now, Ameera, 3. So I'm going to be finalizing that class. So if it's something you want to learn, just shoot me an email at Jeanne, Jeanne, at dolphintouch.org, and we'll talk about how we can make that happen. or just go to the website, dolphintouch.org, and fill in the comment page, or join our newsletter and find out all the fun stuff we do out here. Plus, we share in our newsletter other healers it's such an amazing time to be on the planet, because there's so many people that are stepping up to the plate, that are sharing some incredible information, that are doing channeled messages, that are opening up to sessions, healing, and it's really a wonderful time to me. It's an exciting time to be on the planet right now.
It is, and Kauai, Mama Kauai will change your life. It will be she will get in your blood and your bones and steal your heart. That island will. It is unique to all the other islands in her capacity to heal you and to return you to the origin of your soul and your soul's essence, and just remind you of true beauty.
Yeah, you're really in the fifth dimension here on Kauai. It's a whole. That's why people are so shifted when they come here, because it's easier to shift and to have clarity and to see the world in a different way. You're in New Earth. When you come to Kauai, this is the starting point of New Earth, where eventually we're all shifting to this place. But Kauai's already made the shift, and a lot of people have said that, a lot of really amazing healers. We just had Mas Sajati here, and he won't even go to Oahu. He went to the Big Island in Kauai, and the people from Oahu, which is a more populated island, he won't even bother going there. He'd rather come here. So it's definitely other people are starting to awaken to this energy, and they see it and they feel it, and they come here.
Yeah. The vibration there, you're right. It's fifth dimension all the way. Jeannie, it was so wonderful to have you on the show, and I look forward to seeing you in exactly 1 month from today. I will be back on the island.
Yay! Yay! Well, it's so wonderful to talk to you and everybody else on the call. It's always a pleasure, and I'm really excited to have you back. I just getting used to having you around. I'm going to have to set up I already have your crown and your staff.
My trident, right.
Your trident, yes. I already have it.
Yep.
I'm holding it. I got it in a safe place, ready for you to come back and use it when you come back.
Well, it won't be long, and I will be a full-time resident on Kauai. She has asked me to come be with her full-time, 100% of the time, and do retreats and do healings from that place. Because when you operate or when you create from a place like Kauai, it's not like anything you can do on the mainland. It's a magic all its own. So won't be long, and you will be seeing more of me than you ever thought possible.
Well, that'll be so much fun, because we like to play.
Yep, yes we do. Thanks, Jeannie. Have a great rest of your night. Aloha and mahalo.
So lovely to talk to you. Aloha, and I'm sending you all energy from Kauai.
Yay, we'll take it.
Feel it? Yeah, feel it? Okay.
I feel it, 100%. Love you.
Okay. Love you too. Have a great day. Evening.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in tonight. Again, you can find me at ameerabeth.com. I'm also on Facebook under Ameera Beth Transpersonal Healer. I love hearing from people, so just hit me up, send me a note, send me an email, and if you are interested in coming with me in December to Kauai, merjourneys.com. If for some reason you can't jump in on December, there will be lots and lots of retreats. Retreats on the island of Kauai will be a way of life for me. They have already become a way of life for me. And, that island has invited me to bring people there as often as possible, all year round if possible. So, my business and my personal life will soon be on the island of Kauai. And most of the work that I do right now, if you're in the Portland, Vancouver area where I currently reside, where my physical body resides, a good part of my healing work probably 70% or more, is via Skype. I do lots of distance work. So if you are in my area and used to coming to see me in person, never fear. We can still do wonderful things together when I go to Kauai in this beautiful, beautiful setting. It's really where I feel my most powerful and my most potent, and where I'm the strongest vessel for spirit, is on that island and surrounded by the water. I love you all so much. I'm blessed to have each and every one of you listen in tonight. I wish you oceans of love from Ameera Beth, the heart of the sea. Mahalo.